Hey, glad you're here. This is Radio Disney AM 1110's Community Playground, where friends and neighbors meet.
Good Sunday morning to you. I'm LaFern Watkins here with you on your Community Playground here on Radio Disney, 1110 AM. So glad to have you here today. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll go over your community calendar and things you can volunteer here in Southern California. Fun things, environmental things, things to save the earth, what we love to talk about here on Radio Disney. But right now, we're going to be speaking with Richard Lawson. He's an actor, director, writer. Have you ever wondered how you can get into acting? Have you always wanted to do that? Have you always had questions of, well, I want my son or daughter to be an actor or on television and just don't know how to do it and what time it requires? Well, Richard's going to answer all of those questions and much more. Richard, I'm sure you've seen him on TV. Everybody's seen Richard. He was on Saved by the Bell. He was also on All My Children, which is a soap opera, and he created Lucas Barnes. He's been on MacGyver, on The Days and Nights of Molly Dodd. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to see you, LaFern.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your background, more than I have said, because it's so rich.
Well, I've been acting for about 40 years, and I've been teaching for 30 years. I've had a wonderful career as an actor, a very successful career. I go all the way back to Dirty Harry was actually the first movie that I was in. And since then, I've, starred in over 60 films and probably 150 shows. And I've taught probably about 20,000 actors over the years at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. And I've taught many, many wonderful, famous actors over the course of that time. So kind of unique experience of being a successful actor and a successful teacher. So that's kind of different. There's not many people that
right, very much so. And for all those people out there that are listening, I wanted to express, because there are a lot of people here, especially in Los Angeles, that say, okay, take this class and you'll become a star, or do this and this will happen. And a lot of people just take their parents' money and have no results. And I wanted you on to let the audience know what they should look for in taking a class. You started your own studio. Yes,
I have the Richard Lawson Studios, which you can find at www.richardlawson.net. I started the studio, in teaching at the Playhouse, which is a scene study class, which children need, which everyone needs, just to learn the craft of acting. I started sort of a sister program that is about teaching people how to act on film. And I also teach people how to have careers. Because you can learn how to act, but if you don't know how to apply it to a career, then it's like you have a skill and nothing and nowhere to apply it, and you don't know what to do with it. So I teach people how to master their career, even young people, how to have a vision about what they want to do, and then how to put it into a plan of action and utilize what they've learned, in an acting class. I teach people how to act on, how to act in the world of film, which is different than stage. So I put a camera in young people's hands, and I actually teach them how to shoot and light and edit and do sound and create their own DVDs and cut their own films. Young people today really understand the computer.
Yes.
And so therefore, when young people sit down at the computer, they can do really magical things.
Yeah.
And then when they see themselves on camera, it actually teaches them how to behave and how to better tell a story, especially when you're trying to edit it together. So it's really an incredible tool. Everyone who takes my class is like, their careers and lives change because they now have a tangible something tangible, something that they can, that's solid, that, their careers become real for them and not wistful and hopeful. They're not waiting for their agents to call.
And that's one thing that's really great, is that you're able to give them the skills they need to go on to whatever direction they want, and you create a film.
Yes. Yeah. We're in an electronic world. Everything is happening on the internet. Things are cast on the internet. Everything is video and film oriented. So young people need to know how to operate in the digital world. It wasn't in the old days you would go to an audition and there would be no camera in there. Now everything is captured on camera and is uploaded somewhere. So somewhere, wherever they are in the world, the producers or whoever is making the decisions will look at the work on camera. So you have to know how to act on camera. You have to know how to audition on camera. And if you have the ability to shoot product, like for instance, they don't know who you are as a young actor, you can actually make your own film and put yourself on film and get it to them so that they can see your work. So someone who has the skill to capture themselves in an interesting way, not just against a white wall with shadows all behind you with a paper in your hand clumsily reading, but to be able to create something with a little bit of production so that it enhances what you're doing, and you can send that anywhere in the world.
And even if you don't want to be an actor, your class also helps, like with class presentations or how to even address an audience.
Oh, absolutely. The one thing about the camera is that it's a cold, hard truth. People look in the mirror and they see what they want about themselves, and the camera exposes what is truly there. So the camera helps people really to get real about what's going on. I also teach people who are just looking for jobs, job seekers. Come in and take my class, and they learn first of all, they learn what is true and what's not true. They learn to get used to dealing with it and seeing it as a product, and then how to sell it. Because it's a product. When you walk into, to Disney looking for a job, you're bringing in a brand and a product of who you are and what you're about. So you need to be aware of that, what you look like, what your hairstyle is. Does it become you? What kind of clothes you're wearing. If you're an actor, you have to do the same thing. Right. We're professional job interviewers, that's all.
Yes. Job after job after job.
Weekly. Most people go on 10 or 12 job interviews in their entire life. I've been on probably 3,000 job interviews in my life. So therefore, it makes me a professional job interviewer. So, I know how to help people come in and create a job, having understanding that they have to bring a life force into the room.
Yes.
They have to, know what they're coming in there for.
Now, Richard, for the parents out there who have a child that's very talented, that is asking them, yes, I want to be in this business. How do I do it? How would you tell a parent to, what are the steps? Because your daughter was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
My daughter was on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was almost Buffy, but she turned it down to take another show called Good Behavior with Sherman Hemsley, which seemed to be, at the time, because Sherman was so hot, that it seemed to be the show to take. But it choices,
Yes.
It's interesting, the choices you make sometimes, you make the wrong or the right choice. It wasn't a wrong choice, she just made a different choice.
Right.
And then she wound up playing like a Jamaican or West Indian slayer.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was Buffy's other half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And ironically, Buffy, Sarah, was on All My Children when I was on All My Children. So
that is really neat.
Yeah.
So you managed your daughter's career?
No, I didn't manage my daughter's career. My daughter, another lady managed my daughter's career. She wanted to act, and she sort of came out the womb wanting to act, and she kept talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, and I kept saying, yes, okay, baby, all right. And then after about 3 years, from about 6 to 9, I wanted to just make sure that it wasn't a whim. And finally, I sat down with her one day and we had a talk about responsibility and about professionalism and about what she needed to do, and that it wasn't just fun and games. It was about work and being prepared and, you know.